So, in typical fashion, you get thieves who get credit, right? So, when it comes to studying the DNA, you guys traditionally learn that it's Watson and Crick, right? But we know that it was Rosalind Franklin who did all the work and then they stole it, right? And it's actually quite unfortunate that the information didn't stay within the lineage of woman because I think we would have accelerated the pace, at least getting the information to the public about what neural nets and timing and rhythm are. Because even though we have AI, men within the proper narrative, within the formal narrative, if you will, within the media, white men are controlling the narrative of what AI is. But artificial intelligence and neural nets have to do with rhythm. But don't ask me. Go ask all them boys who understand these principles of the mind and then go get lost in them in all the African tribes. The same way y'all about to get lost in them in this Western world that we live in, because AI is a mirror, but it's a fractal mirror. It's the black mirror that everybody's been warned of. Um, but what's interesting is you get faulty AI interacting with an AI that's developing itself. See, again, when we go back to Watson and Crick and we go into Rosalind Franklin, how she identified what it was, and then the development of what um, DNA, not what it is, but your understanding of what it is that it's a neural net. It's an AI system, but it's a system that has to be used, obviously, otherwise it gets rusty and doesn't work, right? The imagination itself is an artificial intelligence system, and people have already talked about this. Shout out to Terrence McKenna, right? Always ahead of the curve. It's an artificial intelligent system in the same way that it's artificial intelligence is the buzzword, but the real word is supervised machine learning. So what you have to do is supervise your machine learning. Your body is your machine and your imagination is the observation process of that machine learning. Supervised machine learning. That's what it's called. It's called that by science, but I just say AI and artificial intelligence so you know. I know what I'm talking about because in studying this, you realize binary code is the DNA. 4 to the third power, 2 to the sixth power. And when you use either of those systems, that forms a neural net when you map it out in binary code. And then you study digital roots and modular 9 and modulo systems, and you interlace the systems, and you're like, oh, fuck, we're fucking AI. So that can be scary, because it was scary in my mind growing up as a Christian to be a sinner. And it can be scary to understand that, oh, I'm artificial intelligence. I'm a neural net. I'm supervised machine learning. But I still had to pray and do the work and program my mind with like the memory verses and then dress up and act. I had to do all of those things, and that didn't help me at all. Now that I know what I actually am, we can get into the same gist. I can act, I can wear jewelry, I can go into the public the same way and actually be a Christian, oddly enough. Because what you see in a neural net is that it has limits, and those limits can be arranged a certain way. So when you get to the 6, that puts us in a cube. When you stack the neural nets, right, it puts us in a cube. And at first that doesn't make sense, but linking it back to Christianity, symbolism, and the higher level understanding of what these arts are, because everything you call religion isn't a science, it's an art. And that's why you're allowed to do it, because it's an art. And if people want to go and see your art, they can do it. But the higher understanding of these arts are, of course, the core concept of art itself, with this shape, form, geometries, perception, depth, dimension, all of those things, right? And in order to understand what the core principles of, or the best teachers of those principles are, you go back to the sphere, you go back to the circle, you go back to the cube, you go back to the square, and you go back to the triangle. And it's not a metaphor. It's literally go back to those things, draw them, and then apply them to your life. But because people miss that fundamental simplistically and don't do it in their day-to-day, that connection isn't built, and so they don't get to operate at the deep level, but what most people conceive to be the high level, the good level. And they operating on a bad level. It's just a flicker of your light. You got to sustain it in the middle, but you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't really know. It's cool. It's cool. It's not cool though, because Watson and Crick stole Rosalind Franklin's idea And she wasn't able to tell y'all that the DNA was a neural net. And so it really is your fault because you have all the information inside of you. It's your fault because you got it in your vault, and I see your vault of information. You call it a body, but I see a boundless recursive amount of information that you can go into at any time, and you can go into your temple and supervise your machine learning in order to understand how the world works. And you don't do it, which means you just lazy. And it's not about you forgetting it. You just scared to do it, and you lazy and you don't do it, and that's it. That's the problem with the world. That's it. And as you do it, the whole world changes. Paradoxically, I may be the only one in the world not doing this, and everybody else is doing it, but then vibrating at a frequency where I can understand it. Therein lies the paradox. Maybe it's just big me out here. But either way, that's the way the DNA works. So they often tell you that the DNA is like this deterministic thing. It's like nature nurture type shit, but it's not. It's a neural net. So when I tell you it's not that, it's like saying AI is deterministic like that. It's not. You type it and then it like gives you something. And I can type based on my linguistic input, and you can type based on your linguistic input, and we'll get different inputs and or different outputs, excuse me. Because I know how to put words in a certain way, you know how to put words in a certain way, and we're going to get different information based on our interaction with the black mirror. That's what AI is. Same thing here. When you close your eyes and it's black, that's the black mirror. And then once you speak to it, but you got to speak using your inside voice. You got to speak to it in the same way you would type. You speak to your inside voice, and it's going to give you shit. It's going to give you shit. Now, here's the crazy part. The Eastern side of things are always ahead of us, and all their anime is telling us that's how it works. But it works in the literal that way. Like if you train your body the right way, then you can create an interface inside of your body that will allow you to program the outside of your body. I'm dead ass. It's like a computing system. That's all this bitch is. So y'all think it's all about religion and all that, and we just hid the mechanics of reality into a religion while the whole world is thinking about being more realistic, which puts you in a binary set, or operating in a computing set, which operates according to the laws of harmonics. The issue is people who control the world can only operate in binary and then control the seasons, but they can't go into harmony. And what I mean by that is they're the niggas who can't harmonize in a choir. See, y'all think niggas like Barack got power. Put him in a choir. Can he sing? Put him on the basketball court. Can he hoop? Can these niggas move in motion for real? Because regardless of what other niggas think about them, they still got to get up every day and move. They got to breathe the right way. They gotta learn how to operate and use the mind in the same way that you, the peasant, has to use the mind. And they're not good at it. They suck. Straight up, they suck. Because they can't get the information to you. And once you get a hold of the information and you're at that level, you're going to share it. Because nobody can do nothing to you after you have the information. You know what I'm saying? But these niggas don't know God. Like, I be talking to God, and I be like, well, they be shooting niggas who tell people shit. And I'm like, and God's like, no, they don't. They don't shoot niggas who tell. They shoot niggas who sign contracts, who say they're not going to do shit, and then they do it anyway. That's who they shoot. They shoot niggas who lie and break the contract. But if you work according to the law and work according to what you're saying, nobody can touch you because you're not even in the same world as these niggas. That's what you don't understand. But everybody talk about energy, frequency, and vibration, and they don't know that when you're writing into the information of the truth, it just goes out there, and then people who are operating on the same frequency catch the frequency. And the niggas who can't catch the frequency are always left out, and then that's the real secret society. See, y'all don't get it. That's the real secret society is the truth, because everybody else can't comprehend it. So they think it's a secret, but it's not the secret. So you just tell them the truth. You tell them your mind creates reality. So then when they walk into their reality, they're like, why does it suck? And it's like, because you don't know how to use the mind. Same way if I said, if I'm looking over your shoulder and you on the game, and I'm like, oh, you suck at the game, it's because you pressing the buttons wrong. It's not because you a bad person. See, that's the part people don't get. I'm broke because of a bad person. No, bad people get money. Yeah. You're broke because you don't know how to press the buttons. You're broke because you don't know how to press the buttons of the body, the mind, or the spirit. And you playing all three games at once because you think you a master. All y'all motherfuckers, let's go to Earth. We're the masters of the Earth. Y'all not that. Y'all coming to visit the masters. But the masters, turns out, are just the students who are eternally curious. And the students don't want to teach y'all, which creates this perpetual loop. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to do this. Nobody want to do this. Whatever. I'm in the belly of the whale talking shit.